This is a JROD. So the JROD part of this is essentially just each one of these connectors that is either welded like this or conjoined like this one together. The whole purpose of the JROD is to give you the ability to switch tips quickly. So you can mount any type of tips in here that you can get with your standard threads, but generally speaking, these are used a lot for soft washing. You can use them for pressure washing as long as you get the right tips. There's tip sizing charts for whatever it is that you're looking for. You can find your gallons per minute, your PSI, and what size tip needs to go with your system. But these are going to make your life super easy when it comes to switching from one job to the next, or one phase of the job to the next. So let me just quickly go through this 4-piece JROD right here. So this one is meant for soft washing, and starting from this end, we have a smaller orifice that is a fan tip, and this is a larger orifice, also fan tip. So what you would use this for is, this would be applying your soap with the larger fan tip. It's going to be softer. It's going to spread the chemical, if you're soft washing, in a wide fan. And then when you go back and you're rinsing, then you're going to use this rinse fan tip. That's going to be a little bit more pressure. You're still not pressure washing per se, but you're putting enough pressure in there to be able to get all that detergent back off. So that's your fan tip, both your soap spreading fan tip and then your rinsing fan tip. Same thing for this side. We have a small orifice here and a large orifice here. So this is going to be essentially a shooter tip, and I'll show you a different shooter tip in just a second. But this is for more of your long range. You're trying to get up to the eaves. You're trying to get up to a roof line, or onto a roof if you're washing a roof. And same general concept here. This one is generally for getting a large amount up there quickly, and then this one has a little bit more pressure on it, used more for rinsing or agitating a little bit. So that's a standard 4-piece JROD. And then I also use a different one, which is a 2-piece JROD. This is just simplified. So this is your fan tip here and your shooter tip there. This one I keep standard on my soft wash system because I'm not really doing a lot of rinsing with my soft wash. It's more just soap application. So this just, it's smaller, it's easier to flip back and forth. The nice thing about these things is that you can just throw it in your pocket, pull it out when you need it, put it back in your pocket. The downside about these things is they are easy to lose, so don't lose them. Have some extra ones on your truck. One other really great thing, and I told you I was going to show you an actual shooter tip. This here is a long-range shooter tip. So it's essentially the same thing as this with a longer barrel. And that's going to be used for exactly the same purpose. This one shoots about 40 feet with an 8-gallon a minute. And here's an example of what you can do with a JROD. So this is just a 4-part JROD, and I've put an M5 twist on this and then a shooter tip on this. This is absolutely wonderful for building washing, for house washing, commercial and residential. I love this thing. If you're just getting into the soft washing world, you definitely need to get yourself a JROD. You're going to hear it referenced a ton because it is a go-to tool. Also, for if you're doing any type of blacktop, and this might ruffle some feathers, but up here in Washington State, we get a lot of moss on blacktop driveways. If you treat all the moss and you kill it, then you need to rinse all that moss off. You don't want to use pressure. You don't want to use high pressure. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll use one of these larger orifice fan tips or a 40 degree and just lightly go over that to rinse off all those large chunks that have been killed without putting a lot of pressure on the blacktop. Because if you do put pressure on the blacktop, it will rip the top of it off and you'll get wand marks and streaks and all bad stuff. So if you're about to wash a blacktop driveway, you have questions about it, please ask me before you do it, or ask somebody in the community before you do it. It's really easy to screw those things up and make them look horrible. Don't ever use a surface cleaner. But again, JROD, best friend, totally awesome tool. You can change these things out to whatever it is that you like, customize it to yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. I'll leave a couple links down there so that you can go get your own. Test them out if you haven't tried them before. Play around with it a little bit. It's going to make your life a lot easier than trying to keep track of those little nozzles all the time if you're using your black tip for your pressure washer. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. Come on back and we'll go through more tools in the future. If you have specific tools that you have questions about, please leave a comment below so I can specifically answer your question in a video. Thanks, guys. Peace. Oh, that's great. I'm almost 40 feet from the building, and I'm hitting about the top of it right now.